what you have in your gun. Fire what you have in your gun.
What's up, guys, and we're back with the Tactical 45 that you'd always wanted. Today we're going over the FNP 45 Tactical, and I have to say I'm very, very pleased with this handgun, mainly because it has everything that a Tactical 45 would ever need, plus some, depending on your situation, and it comes in at a much lower price than some of its competitors, namely HK. Now, this is a double-stacked 45 that runs 15 round magazines, and I'm going to get this nice and close so you can see it right there. This is also a double single action handgun. What's neat about this double single action handgun is namely this. Unlike a lot of different double single guns that are out there, double single action handguns that are out there, you have the ability to put your safety on, like so, and run your action. Okay? Which is nice because you can actually put it on and run that first round and you're immediately cocked and locked before you start running it. Also, you can run it like traditional. I want to say traditional because this is a fairly... It's been out for a few years, but it's not a household name yet. So, by traditional, I mean guns like the Beretta, HK, SIG, stuff like that, where you do have a dedicated decocker also. And what's neat about it is the simple fact that the safety itself can act as somewhat of a cocked and locked type deal. And while a lot of HKs do that, also, to be honest, I would personally advocate doing a cocked and locked type deal mainly because of a consistent trigger issue. Now, this thing was designed specifically around operator type use, where this is going to be in a holster. Probably drop rig. I don't know if you'd want to carry this on your chest, but probably a drop rig holster. And what's neat about it also is that it comes with just a ton of crap to purpose your whole mission around it. So we're going to take a closer look of this guy and check out some of the nicer features. First things first, we'll go up here to these sights. These sights are elevated, they're night sights, and they're dual tone sights, meaning these are amber and this is green. I personally prefer that mainly because of the fact that at night and under some stress, I've seen, and I've done this myself, where you'll line up the wrong dots, especially in darkness and you're trying to speed up and stuff like that, and you're nowhere near the target. It's better to have either a dot dash system or a two-tone system that you can actually make a reference to. Second thing is that it also comes with mounting hardware and a place to mount a micro dot, like a Trigicon RMR or a Doctor. I'm getting an RMR for this soon. I'll probably launch a video with it soon. But it's nice that it actually comes with that. A lot of times, if you want an RMR or something on your gun, you're going to have to do some serious machining, which means sending it off and all the other stuff. This just comes with that stock. This also comes with a threaded barrel, which is great because with the elevated sights and the RMR hardware mounting points, you'll notice that this is built around suppressed work. Additionally, if you decide not to run a can, you can also run a light or a laser system on it because there is a 1913 Picatinny rail under here. The gun itself has full ambidextrous controls. You can see the slide stop here, your safety and decocker here, and your magazine release. And just so that you guys know I'm not lying, this is all on the other side too. Your takedown lever is in one spot, but as far as utility is concerned, your operating controls are fully ambidextrous, which is nice, and it's a real positive thing being a lefty. Okay. Now, let's talk about how heavy this thing is. At first glance, this looks like a big, heavy gun. And I have to say that the gun itself is actually not that heavy. Loaded with 15 rounds of ammunition, this thing is just over 2 pounds, which is phenomenal. Because for those of you 1911 buffs that are out there, you'll know that a 1911 unloaded is 2 pounds. So, it's impressive because you have a lot of extra firepower. 15 rounds plus 1 of 45, and it's still lighter. You know, so that's great. You gotta love the polymer wonders. And as far as magazine capacity goes, this is the top in its field. This is the top kid, because this is the only stock magazine that runs a 15 round 45 magazine outside of the 2011s and competitive guns and whatnot. So this is the only combat styled handgun that's running 15 rounds. Now I could be wrong about this. There could be an obscure gun somewhere that I haven't been told about, but as far as I know, this is the top kid as far as firepower and shit like that is concerned. It also comes with 3 of these magazines, which for guns that are in this field, a lot of times you get fucking shortchanged big time on magazines. So it's really impressive that they came out with all this junk and 3 15-round magazines. As far as I know, this handgun has not given me any reliability issues whatsoever. Matter of fact, usually when I first buy guns, I pull them right out of box, because a lot of times a store I go to is a range and a store. So immediately after I pick it up, I have the ammunition and I go straight to the firing line, and I fire about 300 rounds to give it a good reliability test out of box, just to see what it's capable of and to see if I need to break it in. This had absolutely no failures of any kind. It didn't stutter at all, and it hasn't malfunctioned yet. There's about 2,300 rounds through this right now. So you'll see an update video on this when it gets to 5,000 and 10,000 rounds. Okay. Now, double single action guns, period, vex me for this. But as far as how simple the gun is, well, in comparison to something like a striker fired gun or a single action only gun like a 1911, this gun is a bit more complex. And you'll say, wait a minute. The double single action gun is not very complex. True, but let's say you're teaching a brand new person how to use a gun like this. Okay, you go from like a Glock 19, which is a striker fire gun only. You know, just pick up, plug and play with it. And then you go to this guy. You have to understand that there is a manual safety here. there's a decocker here, and there's also two different trigger modes, the double action and the single action. Okay, now although that's not a big pain in the ass, and although that's not difficult, it is a bit more complex as far as just motor function and skill goes. Like, for instance, if I caught myself doing this a few times, I'll come off of like a Glock or my FNP or something like this, and I'll forget that this is cocked and locked. So I go up, I go to pull the trigger on this thing, and you guys saw it yourselves. I'll pull the trigger and ask myself, what the fuck? Check that, and then I realize that my safety's down. So it's little, but it's enough to be noticed. Okay, so still simple, but a little more complex than a lot of the competitors out there. This gun specifically, it has only been out for a few years now, and as far as accessories and junk go for it, it is it's a little bit on the low side, because, and I have no idea why, but FN just seems to not be like a household name for a lot of guys yet. I don't see very many FN guns, period. I'm usually the only guy on the range with one. And while stuff is out here for it, if you're looking for something specific, you may have a little bit of trouble finding it. Okay? But the biggest selling point of this handgun is its price. You have your 3 magazines, threaded barrel, raised sights, mounting hardware for optics, full ambidextrous controls, and you have all of this. Oh, and also changeable back straps. You have all of this for about $1,200. I guarantee that some stock HK-45s running 12 rounds or 10 rounds in a lot of situations will run for about $1,000. Okay, so just going with a barrel, a threaded barrel on that gun brings you over on the price. And if you try to get like a Mark 23 or a 45 tactical from HK, you will be over $1,200 on this. That's the biggest selling point, because this did everything as far as that job is concerned on really, really fine guns like HK for much less. Okay? And while it's been reliable so far, like I said, it still has a little bit to prove. About 2,400 rounds is not quite my end game for reliability. However, I've run it hard in all of those circumstances, minus the first day and on that slow fire range that you saw. I run it in drills, and I do a lot of different stuff with it because it's starting to grow on me. It's a good gun. And honestly, if you get the chance to pick one of these guys up and you're a fan of the 45 ACP, I truly believe you should check it out. Okay. One thing to be aware of, though, also, and this is great, is that this is a complete gun. This is not like a lot of guns like HK where they'll build a high-speed, low-drag gun and a really crappy trigger. What this trigger is this is about a 10-pound double-action pull. It does break clean. And the single action has about 1/4 of an inch to take up before it breaks. And when I first got it, it was a little squishy, but it did clean up. So, so that's the review, guys. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you guys appreciated and liked this video. And let me know if you liked the paint job, because I did spend some time coating this guy up. So, do what you will with that. And also, one more thing, the grip on this thing was just fine. The stock grip was just fine. The reason why I stippled it was so that I had a consistent point of contact everywhere that my hands went on the gun. Okay? So the stock grip is not a big deal. And if you're not picky like me, and if you don't want stippling, you don't have to at all. because the stock grip on it did do a pretty good job. So, be easy, everybody. I have more videos coming soon, and just remember, a regular guy's firearm is the last defense against tyranny. Be easy.